Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in and being here. This week I'm doing something different, as you can see. So I just finished this painting here, and I really wanted to show, because I had some questions asking how I wire my paintings in the back and how I prepare for hanging on the wall. And I'd like to briefly go over that and show everything the way I do it, and I hope it will help you guys out. So before I dive into the materials needed, I will explain what I like to use. So this is a studio canvas. This is the canvas that we usually paint in. This is a 16 by 20 inch canvas. A studio canvas, what that means, it's like a half an inch thick right here, right? But so this is really good for when you finish painting. You can hang it as it is on the wall, or usually people like to buy frames for it and frame it. So that is really good for that. But if you don't want to frame your painting, I like to use the gallery canvas. And this is an inch and a half right here, I believe, or 3/4, something like that. But anyway, the point is, gallery canvas is thicker, and it is. You could compare these two real quick to see the size right here. You see? It's bigger and this is smaller. So this is a studio canvas, this is a gallery canvas. And the reason for this, that I like to use this, is because people don't usually frame these kind of canvases, the gallery ones. And it's a little more expensive because it's thicker, but you don't have to frame it, and it looks good as it is. And I like to paint my edges around the corner, so this is a finished painting. And you could see that I just painted it like pretty much black color. It gives you like a nice nice kind of frame around that painting. But people do it in different ways, so but that's the way I do it. And then once it's ready, then I go back and I'll show you guys how to wire everything and the tools you need for today. And then these bumpers here you add on here, and then you just hang it, and it hangs nicely, and the bumpers really have a good grip on the wall, so it's not moving around too much. That's why they're good. And so you don't need to frame it for the gallery canvases. You have a nice dark edges painted around the corner, and the reason why I like to do that is that it creates a nice shadow from the painting, because the painting sticks out a lot, so it creates a nice shadows from the side, the painting, the reflection, so it creates a nice border, like a natural border, and a frame for it. But sometimes frames look good, and that is when, if I want to frame something, I'll use a studio canvas. So I'm gonna show you how I wired this painting. I finished it, but I didn't wire it. And obviously, I didn't paint the edges yet, but first thing I would do is actually paint the edges, and then I'll wire it and then varnish it. But today I'm gonna show you, let's pretend I did the edges. I painted the edges, and today I'm gonna show you how to wire it and get it prepared for hanging on the wall. So, let's take this one down and go over the materials needed. So follow me. So these are the materials we need for today, and I'll have all these materials on my description down below and the links to them so that you can have access to them. But first thing I like to use is just a ruler and a little tack, and I like to do this. I like to flip my painting sideways, and usually I give about 5 inches. And this is a 24 by 30 inch canvas, okay? But I usually, for this type of canvas, I usually go over right here if you come close. And I put the ruler against this wood right here, and I just mark right here 5 inches. I just mark it right there, just kind of make a little hole, and try to have it right in the middle of this wood right here, right? And then I just kind of poke it in there like this, and just swirl it like that, and you have a nice little hole there. And so once I made my 5-inch little hole here with a tack, I then pick up one of these, and they're like, this is how it looks like. And I'll link this in the description so you can see the exact materials I'm using. But what I like to do is, you know, it's very simple. You just put it in and swirl it, and just kind of screw it in. There you go. That's good right there. I mean, you can go a little more if you want to be safe, but that's gonna hold very nice and strong right there. And so now I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna flip it around and do the same thing on this side. So remember, up against the wood right here, and I go 5 inches, right about right there, mark it, and then put it right in the middle with the tack, and then I just kind of swirl it around, try to make a little bigger hole right there, and then one of these, and then it just goes in nice and easy. So now I have the little hooks here attached. Now the next step is we're gonna come here, and this wire, I bought a lot of it. There's different sizes of wire, but it's like very flexible, and I don't know what they're called, but it's a nice wire that is flexible. Again, this is going to be in the description down below. So what I like to do is, you know, first I put it through the hole, and about like a couple inches from, you know, like about this much, right? Couple inches. Then you squeeze it, and then, you know, tighten it as best as you can by doing this. Like this. And it holds nice and strong. There you go. Okay? And then you could see it. And then I'm going to, before I cut this out, I'm going to, around, you know, put my thumb right like in the middle of this. Just guess, it doesn't have to be perfect. And hold it like this. And then first I measure it. Okay, so measure, remember, it's going to be bent right here, right? And so I measure 2 inches, just about, you know, like this. So then I have this, and I'm going to use scissors. Just these are like, you know, bigger scissors here, so they're pretty strong. And I'm just going to cut it like this. Works nice and easy and fast. And then I'm going to go through this hole, and what I'm trying to do is go right, like maybe just a little bit lower than the wood right here, right? Just maybe a little bit, like about this much. Okay? And then once I have that, you could see where I'm bending it. I'm bending it right here, and I'm gonna tighten it. Do the same thing like I did on the other side. Okay, there you have it. And there you go. That's wired and ready to be hung. And so now, the last thing is these, what are they called again? Oh yeah, bumpers. These bumpers. So they you know, come in a pack. But they work really nice. It gives a nice grip on your canvas. So I take one of them out, and I put it right where the wood area is, right here. I put it like right in the middle, about right there. And then I just squeeze it and it holds nice and strong. And I do the same thing on the other side. I go and put it right there, about the same length apart. And you have that there and there. And that's it. It's all finished and ready to be hung. And so now, the reason why, remember I explained the reason why I wanted a little bit from the wood here and not too low, because once I hang it, and I've experienced this many times, oh yeah, and I forgot, and we need, you could use a nail, but I like to use these hangers. So it's a little nail that goes on the wall like this, you could see. They're designed specifically to hang nicely for paintings and pictures, and it's not just a nail on the wall. It's like very safe because it's at an angle and it's perfectly, like, gives you a little hook there. So that's why I like to use them. But also because when I do hang it, if you come from this side and look, it gives a nice little bit push from the wall, from the top, and it goes down, and the bumpers are holding against the wall, so it has a nice grip here, and so it has like a nice lean against the wall. So that's why I like using those. You can have, like I said, you can use nails, but I like using these the best. So then I hang it, and obviously straighten it out. But once it's straight, it's nicely hung there, and that's how I do it. I hope this video was helpful. This was a, really quickly described of how I do, work with. There's different ways of, wiring your work and hanging your work. I hope this was helpful. And again, I'm gonna put all the materials that I use in the description down below. And thank you guys for tuning in and being here. Stay tuned for more of these kind of videos and more tutorials. Take care and God bless.